20-9. USC leading Ohio State. 14:04 left. Obviously, the Buckeyes have to score twice. What do you think they'll do?
They've got to get themselves going here, and I think they've got to go to the air. They have not been able to run the ball consistently. They have not been able to lean on that big running game. Byers has just not been able to do anything except that one long run. Let's give credit to the SC linebackers, but they're going to have to open up and throw the football.
Well, let's see how that works as they break huddle at the 29-yard line. Tom Zach with Byers going into the pass pattern. And it's Carter, a short gainer, out to the 33, a gain of 5, and Carter with his 7th catch. Reminds us of that tremendous aerial warfare back in '63 when Vanderkellen of Wisconsin and Beathard of USC set all the records.
That game being played late in the day, and they didn't have lights here in those days. I can remember how dark it was when they finally finished that ball game.
Ball is near the 34-yard line, 2nd and 5. Tom Zach indeed goes to the air. Carter intercepted by USC's Tommy Haynes. Haynes at the 50 and tackled at the 48 in the Buckeye sidelines. They want interference.
Carter was knocked down or tripped just before that ball arrived. But the officials, you'll see Carter. He breaks to the outside. Just before he gets to the sideline, he's bumped by Tommy Haynes, who hit his leg. Carter went to the ground, and Haynes came up with the football.
Needless to say, Earl Bruce and the Bucks on the near sidelines, different sort of emotion than the celebration on the Trojan sidelines.
The 3rd interception of the day for Tom Zach. And Tom Zach was absolutely furious as he came up to question the lack of a call by the official.
Apparently the ruling being just incidental contact on the trip. And SC with a break at the 48 of the Buckeyes. And they try the reverse.
Pass, Nick.
Norman is deep, but so are some Buckeyes, and they almost intercept. Tanner, the wide receiver, Randy Tanner, threw the football, and a lost opportunity for the Buckeyes, William White.
We mentioned Ted Tollner's feeling that they were going to have to go to a few gimmick plays. This obviously one of those. Tanner coming around and throwing what I think was an ill-advised pass. The defense simply not fooled on the play. William White, number 37, had it in his hands. It bounced away as he hits first the receiver and then the ground. But that probably should have been an interception.
White, a freshman from Lima, Ohio, had 3 during the course of the year. Here it is again.
You see how deep? I think that's a mistake. You've got to make it look like a run if you're going to throw that football, or you're not going to fool anybody.
Certainly didn't fool the deep defense. 3 Buckeyes back on the coverage. White shaken a bit. Leaves the game. Fred Crutcher is in for USC at tailback for Ryan Knight.
Ray Jackson in place of White, and let's see if SC doesn't go right after him on this play.
2nd down and 10. The 2 touchdowns scored in the game, both by SC, came after pass interceptions, and this is their 3rd pass interception. We'll see it. Tim Green, and capitalize again. Crutcher ripped down by Giuliani for a loss. And he's built like a wrestler, and that was a quick takedown.
Extremely quick off the nose, in the mold of so many of the nose tackles of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Giuliani has been pretty well controlled by Tom Cox, and Cox, an interesting story too. He's from what, about 60 miles outside of Columbus, Dick? From Xenia, Ohio, I believe. Yeah. The young man who got away from Ohio State.
He's 6'5" and 225. Makes his home down in San Diego. Green, a quick pop, and unable to hang on is Cormier. Boy, he's a good target, though, at 6'6" and 220. So the Buckeye defense has played well in the 2nd half, and in fact throughout the game. When you consider the fact that the only 2 touchdowns, the difference in the game, the 2 pass interceptions deep in Ohio State territory that led to short marches to a touchdown.
We had billed the matchup between that big Ohio State offensive line and Keith Byers and the SC front 7. Well, it's it's pretty much gone in the favor of SC.
Richardson has kicked very well. Lanise back. This one is short, end over end, but it'll take a good bounce. And Richardson has done that all season long. Get a short kick and a wonderful roll all the way to the 12-yard line. Covered by Sam Otto. 12:45 left in the fourth quarter. The Buckeyes have the ball deep in their own end, down by 11.
Can you update that field position stat you had, Joe? It's got to be maybe even worse than it was at the beginning. Now, I'm talking to... Ask Jeff to put up that thing about the 1450. Shows freshman, sophomore. What he has is the number of freshmen and sophomores and so forth, so we can talk about the fact that these are relatively young teams. Is it both teams? Ask Jeff if it's both teams at one time. Yes, okay.
Yeah, oh, good. Great. Yeah, okay, great. The youth represented, especially the Ohio State team. Half of the seniors are starters at Southern California, more upperclassmen, but the Buckeye future appears to be mighty bright, and especially a freshman Spielman, the way he's played today.
They have a lot of strength returning next season.
Tom Zach again forced to the pass, going deep downfield, too far for Carter. Now, there are many wonderful memories about this game, going back to when we listened to it on the radio back on the farm in Michigan, but one that I especially enjoyed happened just a couple years ago, and it involved my partner Merlin Olsen, who was the Grand Marshal, and his son Nathan involved in the coin toss. And there he is, Nathan with the honor, and there's Papa watching.
I think some of our proudest moments watching our children.
Nathan getting big enough to wear a uniform now. He's going to be a player soon.
He's sprouted about 3.5, 4 inches since that time, and quite a few pounds.
Ohio State from its 12 on second down. Byers on a draw play and fighting his way through almost the entire SC team just to gain 4 or 5 yards. Brent Moore, a junior defensive tackle, was there first.
We've talked a great deal about the linebackers for SC. Hope, Del Rio, Pickett, Biggers. They have played extremely well today. That's not unusual. There are 17 Trojan linebackers active in the NFL right at this moment, and I think these 4 are going to have a chance to join them. That was 52. Jack Del Rio doing an excellent job on that play.
3rd and 5. The throw is complete, and a first down to tight end Ed Taggart. He's just a sophomore.
Ohio State cursed again with poor field position. They have started almost every one of their drives deep in their own end of the field, and it's tough to move against an inspired defense when you've got that much green between you and the opposite end zone.
Meanwhile, Southern California scoring after interceptions, 1 at the 45. There you see the influence in the National Football League of the Southern California program, #1 in producing players. Tom Zach back to Taggart for short yardage, hit at the 31-yard line.
Dick, that's not the kind of pass that's going to win this game for them. They've got to go back and get it in the air and get it deep. Penn State, Alabama, Pittsburgh, and UCLA. What a great game UCLA had today. These 2 crosstown rivals, at least if things continue this way, will have a great deal to cheer about.
UCLA, of course, winning the city rights with a win over Southern California in the last Pac-10 game of the year, but USC had already clinched the Rose Bowl bid. This is UCLA's home field. Byers again, paying for every yard he has earned. Since that 50-yard gain in the opening series of the game, Byers has been held well in check by a swarming SC defense. Dave Perling, 95, helping out freshman Rex Moore, a reserve linebacker. 10:41 left in this quarter, the final period, and it's 3rd and a yard and a half for Ohio State, and they aren't going to get too many more possessions, so the Buckeyes have to take advantage of each opportunity. Byers now the all-time Big Ten rusher, 101 yards today. And look at that hit by 56 Sam, a sophomore from Santa Monica, California.
We just finished talking about the linebackers from USC. And what do? They come up and make another big play. Sam Ono, 56, sticking his head right through there. 54. Neo Hope, both of those inside linebackers all over the ball carrier, and they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Byers, the best back in the country, are concerned to control him because you can't stop him, says head coach Ted Tollner. Well, he's over 100 yards, only the second back to do that against the SC defense. Now 4th and 1, this could be the game, and Byers has the first down, and he's looking for more. Finally corralled at the 43. 9 yards for Byers. His nickname is Bramble, which seems unusual, although it goes with Byers, Bramble Byers, and it started when he was a freshman. He said, I'm kind of a cross between Jimmy Brown and Earl Campbell. So his teammate says, oh, Brown and Bramble it'll be, and so it is stuck.
Well, he rambled on one of his first carries today. He has not rambled as it approaches now. Is that number accurate, 89 yards? I think he has more than that. We'll check that out for you.
We had earlier report that he was over 100 yards. It is 89 officially. Tom Zach drilling it to Lanise. Is it a catch? No, he trapped it.
Excellent concentration by Lanise and some good play acting as well. Scooped it up on the first bounce. We're looking at it from the opposite side of the field. Now watch Lanise take this on the first hop. It'll just touch the ground. You see it bounce and turn over? Lanise bouncing up to make it look like a catch, doing a little play acting of his own. You see that ball coming off the ground. Sometimes get those. Sometimes the officials will give you one like that.
Good camera coverage there. Harry Coyle calling the shots. The Dean, Larry Cirillo, our producer. And coming up next, it'll be Oklahoma and Washington, number 2 and 3 from the Orange Bowl. Tom Zach needs something big, and there's Carter, and he delivers again. Chris Carter, another freshman for Ohio State. Their 2 top players in this game have been freshmen. Spielman on defense, Carter on offense.
Again, Carter showing you great courage. He knows he's going to get blasted on this play, goes up and with excellent body control, able to get that football down. Tom Zach running on that play, getting outside. That's something he could not do early in the year as he was recovering from that broken leg.
Big game for Carter and a first down for the Buckeyes. Tom Zach again, lots of time. Hits his tight end Taggart, who bounces out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Tommy Haynes made the play. You're wondering about most catches in a Rose Bowl game, as Carter now has 8. Pat Richter, the All-American end for Wisconsin in that storied 42-37 USC-Wisconsin battle back in '63. Richter set the mark with 11, but the most yards held by the immortal Don Hudson, 164, and Carter's only 11 away from the yardage record. Byers. They're grabbing everything they can, and they finally bring him down, and they may have grabbed something they shouldn't.
I think they got a hold of his face mask on that play, and that is not a smart move by the SC defense. They've played smart football all afternoon, but you don't want to make a dumb mistake late in the game when you're up by 11 points.
added yardage on the penalty. Just to finish the business on the records with Carter. Well, first the announcement.
Face mask, 5 yards against the defense, first down.
At the end of that run, apparently someone's face mask or someone's hand inside of the face mask of Keith Byers. They break the huddle. We won't have a chance to see it. Oh, there it is.
Jerome Tyler.
Jerome Tyler, number 1, the man who had it.
So it's a first down inside the USC 20-yard line. Byers, nothing there at all except red jerseys. 54, Neil Holt, who loves to raise and wants to really get involved in raising Doberman pinchers. He said, it reminds me of myself as a football player. Aggressive but graceful, and with plenty of emphasis on aggressive on that tackle.
He was a delightful guest at the big luncheon they have just prior to the football game here. About 4,000 people at the Kiwanis Club gathering yesterday. It seemed like a long time ago, but he was one of our special guests there, Dick.
Byers now with 94 yards rushing. Tom Zach stepping away from the pressure, and then they get him from behind. Is that a fumble?
Yeah.
No, incomplete. They say his arm was going forward.
Well, I'd like to see that again, because it appeared to me that the ball had been stripped out before his arm started forward. Tommy Haynes blitzing in from his cornerbacking position. You'll see him coming from the right side of the screen now. Now let's see if he gets his hands going. Actually, the left side. I'm sorry. I think that's a fumble. I think he stole that football from Tom Zach. Tom Zach's smart enough to get that arm going forward. You'll see him coming again from the far side. He'll come all the way back around. Yeah, he may have started that throwing motion. Boy, that is a tough call.
Third and long for Tom Zach, looking into the end zone. Carter, touchdown! And with it, a new Rose Bowl record, erasing Don Hudson, the Alabama All-American in 1935, as Carter has 171 yards.
Dick, I think they'll go for 2 points on this extra point. That would put them within a field goal of being able to tie this game.
So Carter, a record-setting catch and a touchdown to cap a brilliant performance. And that indeed will be Earl Bruce's choice. Here's Carter's 6. That is also an Ohio State all-time record. 8th catch in a game.
8th touchdown. That's the 8th touchdown on the year.
Touchdown,
He had 7 coming in, which tied the all-time record. And imagine, as a freshman, an 8th touchdown to set the all-time record. That's a record that tops a lot of great players.
And Tom Zach on the firing end. He wants to talk over the 2-point try with 7:34 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Buckeyes have pulled within 5 and looking for 2 more. Well, that makes it a good game here now. If he can get the 2-pointer, that'll add a little.
He's going to go for 2, yeah.
17 yards on the play.
There's Nathan. I just saw him down there. Yeah, that's great. They were calling for the extra point team, and he's saying, no, we're going to go for 2. Okay, great.
All All right, Don Cricky, we'll be looking forward to your call from the Orange Bowl. And of course, last year was a classic. And there's Earl Bruce.
That was right after the play. They scored a touchdown, and someone said, get the extra point team out there. He said, no, we're going to go for 2. Now the play from the end zone, throwing right through the coverage. An excellent pass. And that Chris Carter has shown us some great concentration and catching skill today.
Carter, now a record setter, is wide right, Lanise to the left with Woolridge in the backfield with Tom Zach.
They'll run it in.
2 points. The flag is down in the end zone. We'll check the penalty flag as Earl Bruce watches. And another rather interested spectator. It's against Southern California. It's good for 2. And now it's a field goal game. USC 20, Ohio State 17. Listen to that Buckeye band.
And the Buckeye crowd once again alive and excited. An SC crowd that has been so proud and happy of the way their team has dominated early. Suddenly rather somber here with 7:34 left in the 4th quarter. Tom Zach running it in for the 2-pointer.
7:34 remaining, and it's the Trojans by 3. Boy, he moved down there in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't take him any time at 88 yards. You got that? 88 yards, 14 plays. 5'11".
Earl, this would happen. Earl has never had a tie as a college coach.
Never, Iowa State?
Never. 13 years coming into this year, he was 93 and 47. Said this would be the 152nd game. Never a tie.
Something.
How many games altogether?
Pardon?
How many games?
152.
This 150.
Hey.
Sensing something special. The Buckeye fans down below on their feet, and then the Southern California rooters across the way, urged by the USC players, they stand and cheer. 7:34 remaining. Southern California leading by 3, and in case you're wondering about a tie, the odds are long against that for Ohio State. This is the 152nd coaching game for Earl Bruce. He's never been involved in a tie. He doesn't figure he wants to play to be even. Now the kickoff with a lot of time remaining. Watts and Tanner are deep. Spangler kicking short because the penalty called on the 2-point conversion was marked off against SC on the kickoff. They'll take it a bit from the yard line. Now the Buckeye defense has really stopped USC in the second half. Part of that being that Southern California staying on the ground. They moved it most effectively through the air in the first half, but with a lead, Ted Tolner playing it more conservatively. He may have to open up now.
It's not always easy to step back on the accelerator. Once you have backed off and started to decelerate that big machine, it's not easy to get it going again. Earl Bruce, on the other hand, hasn't had his troops going until now. They're finally getting it moving.
Green to Crutcher. And Crutcher to the 26-yard line before Sonny Gordon would come up from his rover spot to make the tackle. 6 yards. Well, Earl Bruce has just seen his team go 88 yards in 14 plays. Took a little over 5 minutes. And it was a very successful journey. 6 plus the 2 to pull within 3.
You see Nate Shaw standing in front of Ted Tolner signaling in the play. One of the Ohio State Buckeyes down on the field. Looking at his right leg. That's Pepper Johnson, and that is the one man you do not want to lose out there. He's the defensive captain, a junior captain, most unusual, and he has handled that responsibility extremely well.
Number 1 tackler on this Buckeye team and an all Big Ten choice. He will be replaced by number 90. You see in the picture Fred Ritter, a sophomore.
getting up more or less under his own power. Let's see how he moves. Well,
the Fiesta went to UCLA 39-37. This game in the Rose Bowl still very much in doubt, and #1 in the minds of some in the nation this year in question. And that answer will come in part in the Orange Bowl that will follow Washington and Oklahoma. I think Johnson will be back in.
I think we'll see him again. You know, there were a half a dozen of these Ohio State players that got tattoos saying Rose Bowl 1985. I'll talk a little more about that, Dick.
2nd and 4. It's Pola who appears to have the first down across the 30. So they went to the needle in Southern California.
Well, actually, they had it done back in Columbus. In fact, and I'm not gonna tell on him, but one of the defensive linemen has that tattoo on his hip. That's all I'm going to say, Dick.
Well, there's got to be a line in there someplace, but I think it's best left alone. With 6:50 remaining. It started in 1902 when Fielding Yost brought his great Michigan team west and defeated Stanford 49-0. And now the 71st Rose Bowl game. SC leading 20-17. 6.5 minutes left. Green complete to Kretcher. Hit immediately at the 35-yard line. It sounds like an echo. Chris Spielman with the tackle.
Spielman again and again and again. He had a frustrating freshman season, as we had mentioned. You see him reacting first to the play action and then coming back to cover in the zone, then coming back up after the ball is thrown. That's excellent linebacking play, and what a sure tackler he is. When he gets a hold of you, you go down.
15 tackles for Spielman. That's unofficial. It's 2nd and 5. No gain for Pola. Guess who was there? Along with Kummerow, Spielman again. 14 Kummerow, and also in on the play 59 Giuliani, and you could hear the pads pop again.
That's a play that SC has done extremely well with today. They little counterplay with the fullback going back against the grain.
We have no official attendance figure yet for this 1985 game. There it is, 102,594 under the all-time record. But this series certainly has been one of the most attractive in Rose Bowl history.
Important 3rd down right here.
3rd and a long 5. Green dumps it off to Pola. He doesn't make a thing. Crucial hit by Dave Morrill, 57.
And Fred Ritter, number 90, who'd gone in for an injured Pepper Johnson, and he may have hurt himself on that play. You'll see it here. SC trying to throw the little pass into the flat.
They don't use this one very often.
They don't. Kennedy Pola, they want him to get the yardage after the fact, but a good hit over there by number 90, Fred Ritter.
Troy Richardson to punt. Lanise back at the Ohio State 25. They figured to get pretty good field position. Takes an Ohio State bounce and covered very quickly. Number 27, Garrett Breland. But Ohio State will have a good position this time. They start from their 35. Remember 1980, same two teams. It came down to the final 4th quarter drive. Charles White. White would give SC the lead. 1:38 left. Clock is running. White, touchdown! Oh, thank you. We finally got one in that we said we're going to get in. Huh? This is a great game. Yeah, we've got a good game. What?
Could come down to be the exact
reverse with Byers having a chance, yeah. Right now, who do you pick, Carter or Spielman for Ohio State? Yeah.
Unless something happens in this drive, I choose Spielman. He's really gotten back into this game. Although Carter,
yeah, you got it. Okay, he may catch a couple more.
Let's split it.
Well, let's wait, because if he catches a couple more, because if he erases Richter and Hudson, that would be what a feat. A freshman. And Green so far, but
Green could still kill him.
Cricket looking forward to the action from Miami. You can see a big, enthusiastic crowd at the Orange Bowl. And so it is here in Pasadena, where night has fallen. 4:19 left. SC 20, Ohio State with the ball, 17.
Dick, I asked Earl Bruce about the last Rose Bowl trip out here, and he talked about Charles White and SC taking the ball in the final minutes to beat them 17-16. The shoe is on the other foot here. Let's see how Ohio State can do.
And Keith Byers trying to write that same script, and he fights his way to the 42, a gain of 7, when it appeared he'd only get 2.
Wonder if Jack Del Rio is ready for this play. Look at this. Bang. He was ready for Byers, but Byers kept going anyway. Another 4 yards after that smashing hit by Del Rio.
Byers got 1 run of 50, and it's taken him 19 more to get the other 50. He now has 100 yards. Tom Zach. Lots of time, and then he breaks down, and that is an incomplete pass. No, they say that Tom Zach was down at the 33-yard line. He tried to hit his fullback. Walker, and but they say that he was either in the grass, the whistle had blown, or his knee was down. Here it is.
Let's see if some part of his body had touched the ground. There's no question they had a hold of him, but they won't stop it for that. His knee was on the ground. You saw that right knee touch the ground.
I'd like to see another tackle of that. I'm not so certain of that.
You're not so positive, huh?
But it's a big loss for the Buckeyes. 3rd down and long. Tom Zach. Complete to Lanise to the 47-yard line. And that's going to be a Buckeye first down.
Tom Zach has been throwing a good part of the day to Chris Carter. He goes back to the other side of the field to the converted tailback. Mike Lanise did an excellent job of getting that ball, and he was looking off a long time before he finally turned back to the left and fired that shot to the sideline.
Both wide receivers to the left with Carter on the far side and Lanise in motion. It's Byers breaking a tackle and fighting to the SC 45.
Ohio State fighting 2 enemies now, the SC offense and the clock. And look at this run by Byers. He refuses to take the tackle. Tim McDonald, Dwayne Jackson, both trying to get him on the ground, and finally do.
Well below his average, but Byers an obvious influence in this final drive. He gets it again in more ways than one as SC gets him, and it was led by number 90, Brian Luft, and the nose tackle, 92, Tony Colorado.
Emotional Jeff Toller on the sideline, encouraging his defense. 3rd and short. 4-down territory here. No sense in stopping now.
The last 2 games, SC won 17-16 and 18-17. 3rd and 1, Byers. First down. Going to be close. He was pulled backwards, and it'll be dependent on the spot. And from that spot, it appears he has the first down.
It looked like he had gone beyond the line, and someone snapped him back. Some good, strong hands. That's Bickett, the All-American linebacker, Dwayne Bickett, number 80. Watch him now. Byers leveling into the line. Bickett will reach over and get a hold of him from behind. Now watch the strength right there with one hand. He snapped Byers back on his back. Now that is amazing.
That's the All-American 6'5", 225, and it is short of the first down by that much. So another pressure play for Earl Bruce and Mike Tomczak, who had a chance during that timeout to measure, to come over and get a free chat with Bruce, but now he better hurry. 1:28 left. Oh, I guess that was an Ohio State timeout. We see the figure on the scoreboard down to 1 timeout remaining for the Buckeyes with just under a minute and a half left.
Artie Gigantino, the defensive coordinator, has called his entire defense over to the sideline. They're going to talk about it over there. And it's amazing, Dick. All of this football, and for Ohio State and their many fans and those watching, it may come down to this one play.
20-17, USC has led almost the entire game. Field goal by Spangler opened the scoring for Ohio State, 3-0. Jordan then tied it with a 51-yard field goal. Green to Cormier, 3-yard touchdown pass, 10-3 SC. Then Green to Ware, 19 yards to make it 17-3. Spangler kicked a 46-yard field goal for the Buckeyes as the gun sounded to end the half to make it 17-6. They traded long field goals in the third quarter, and then a Tomczak to Carter 17-yard touchdown and a 2-point conversion run by Tomczak has made it a 2017 game.
Dick, I was watching Mark Karowitz, the right tackle for Ohio State. He was having trouble with his helmet. Finally, somebody threw him a helmet. I hope it fits. He put it on and went back into the game.
4th and inches. Tomczak sneaking forward. Time called while they'll measure again, undoubtedly.
Of course, in college football, if you have the first down, the clock will stop while they move those sticks. I think they're going to have to measure it again. It's going to be awfully close.
First down. 1:26 left.
They won't huddle. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. Earl Bruce already having sent the play out.
Way out to the right is Lanise. As they really spread the field, you see Carter on the far side. And Tomczak's going to throw. He's looking for Lanise. What a catch, and then he can't hang on as Tim McDonald stripped it away. You remember it was Lanise against Michigan who made a clutch catch, not unlike that one where he had to twist in midair and pulled it away from the Wolverines that led to this Rose Bowl trip. This was almost a repeat.
Both the outside receivers showing us some acrobatic catches, but I believe McDonald's hand hopped inside to knock it away. How did Tolner feel about that one? All right. Dodged another bullet on the sideline.
Going to have a sore neck looking at that clock. It now says 1:18 left. 2nd and 10. Tomczak hit as he threw the ball complete to Byers, out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with that much time remaining.
SC continues to blitz the linebackers. Del Rio, coming from the right side, was all over Tomczak, who did an excellent job of just getting that football off.
Southern Cal 39-yard line. Tomczak under a blitz. He recovers at the 47-yard line. Del Rio was there to fall on him, but it was Brent Moore, 97, who stripped the ball away.
The 2 tackles, Moore and Love, both penetrating on the play, along with Del Rio. Someone's arm just swinging out to knock that ball away. And they're taking the final timeout. Tomczak finally getting to the official and blowing it to a halt. Let's see if we can see who knocked that ball away. Moore right there coming in is reaching in and just with his fingernails knocked that ball out of the hands of Mike Tomczak.
Oh, what a great play by Moore, diving right into the ball. And Ted Tolner has seen his defense come up with a clutch play in the form of Moore, a junior. Oh, he He's using a lot of body English over there. And meanwhile,
I think he might be tighter than the players after the game, and there's no way to react to that kind of pain except to look at Earl Bruce and know what must be going through his mind right now.
well, this 1985 has certainly started with a roar in these bowl games thus far. The Fiesta two-point game, 39-37, UCLA over the University of Miami. And it's a three-point game here in Pasadena. 47 seconds left, and a fourth and everything play coming up. 4th down and 15 for the Buckeyes. No timeouts left. And the Orange Bowl with the Washington Huskies and the Sooners of Oklahoma right after this one. For many more ahead. No timeouts for Ohio State. Tim Green hands it to the official. So, in the 39th match between the Pac-10 and the Big Ten, it will be another victory, as has been the wave of wins for the Pacific 10. 14 of the last 16. And they will take the lead 2019. And our outstanding players in this game for USC, Tim Green. For Ohio State, freshman Chris Carter. Each player will receive a special trophy in honor of his achievement. And today's Rose Bowl game in Toyota will donate a total of $1,000 to the general scholarship funds of the two universities. 3, 2, 1. It's USC 20, Ohio State 17. Southern California's success in the Rose Bowl and in postseason play continues. They win by 3. Ohio State with the record-setting performances, but they go out a loser. And we've got another big game ahead. Let's go for a preview to the Orange Bowl. Okay, talk me through this now, please. If you have time, I think it'd probably be appropriate to talk about, the whole headline was Myers, and SC's defense did, they matched up. They won that match, didn't they? I mean, yeah. Okay, at the same time, I've done it. I just did it.
You did it.
Jeez. I mean, we jammed it in over the end of the game, right in the middle of the drama, final second.
Congratulations, Randy, man. Congratulations.
Well, we have time here to do a little yeah.
We have 3 minutes. Okay, Dick?
Are we going to do any credits or anything like that?
Probably not. I'll let you know if we are.
If we do, I want to get this into.
30 to us. We have a commercial in between, then we'll come back.
So in their 7th Rose Bowl meeting, each had won 3. Southern California prevails 20-17 over the favored Ohio State Buckeyes. One of the stars of the game is with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Coach Tollner. All right, Tim Green from MVP. What a way to end your career, huh?
You know, dream about things like this, Ahmad. I'm telling you what, the game all the way down to the end, and we wanted it more. We wanted it more. It's plain and simple.
You were so poised the entire game.
Oh, I had to be. Otherwise, they would have found someone else to be poised. So, we're SC, and we won. I'm so proud right now.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Coach Tollner, what a way to start the year.
Oh, great way. You know, we've been so proud of this team all year because we've had to win like that. Struggle and fight and play hard-nosed football. That was a great football team we played today. We had to get 6, 7, 8 hats to slow that Byers down.
Well, it looked to me that you guys were ready for Byers.
Well, we were ready, but he had a great game. I mean, we were as ready as we could be. We played as well as he could play on defense, and he still had a tremendous game. That's a credit to him.
Was this your top output of the year?
I believe so. We played all phases pretty well. I think we did a good job in kicking game. Our offense moved the ball well enough to score, and we had 3 more points than they did. It's a sweet way to end it.
Incredible feeling for you.
Thank you, Ahmad. We're very proud.
All right, congratulations to you, and back up to you, Dick.
Thank you, Ahmad, and congratulations to Ted Tollner and also to Earl Bruce, 2 terrific coaches. They were so helpful. Yeah, what I liked about this game is that, I never had any talent. You had a lot of talent. That the last 2 years, the most valuable players have been Rick Neuheisel of UCLA and Tim Green of USC. We're just that kind of chemistry major types. They just were kids that got the job done, not pro prospects.
It's exciting to me, too, Dick. And we started the game knowing that the great players were really Keith Byers and the defense for the USC Trojans. But because they negated each other, they kind of eliminated each other in this ball game, the emphasis shifted over. And a guy who's been the GOAT as often as the hero this year, Tim Green, came up with a gutty performance. You could feel the electricity in him down there, and he deserves the credit. His name goes in the record book, and everyone will remember him as an MVP in the Rose Bowl game.
And for Chris Carter, just a freshman from Middletown, Ohio, he gets a record, erases Don Hudson's name out of the Rose Bowl record book, a record that's been standing since 1935 as he leads the Buckeyes almost to a comeback win. And what has happened? A whole shift. The early part of this series, all Big Ten, and of late, the Pac-10 has prevailed.
Well, and certainly a game today that could have gone either way. I know that Earl Bruce has got to be disappointed, as do his players. Great game by Chris Spielman. They've got a lot of young, exciting players coming back, and I know they're looking forward to next season. They've got to start thinking about it already.
So that's the story of the 1985 Rose Bowl game. Tim Green's 2 touchdown passes and a tough defense. Ted Tollner's Trojans defeat the Ohio State Buckeyes 20-17. So from Pasadena, California to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Okay.
We're on. Good job, Joe.
lost 3 in a row on the day for their conference. They go against Oklahoma next as Act 3 of Bowl Day 85 unfolds on NBC as we take you to Miami, Florida for the Orange Bowl.
This is the Orange Bowl in Miami, a spectacular array of lights and excitement as Washington and Oklahoma are ready to meet in the 1985 Orange Bowl with quite possibly the national championship on the line. As you know, determining a national champion is an inexact science at best. NBC Sports surveyed the 60 Associated Press writers who will vote later tonight in the final AP poll. 70% said they're awaiting the outcome of the Orange Bowl before making their final decision on number 1. 18 of the writers, 30%, said that Brigham Young will be number 1 regardless of the outcome of this game. What if Oklahoma wins by 2 or more touchdowns? Well, the Sooners would get 29 first-place votes from the AP writers then, BYU 22. So it would appear that Oklahoma has a chance by winning big to win the national championship. What about Washington, and if the Huskies should prevail by 2 touchdowns or more tonight? It appears, according to the AP survey by NBC Sports, that Brigham Young would reign as national champion. Washington would be close, but only second. Oklahoma would be out of the running. That's what the writers think. Now let's find out what the coaches of tonight's game think.
Well, I think people have got to know anything about football. We've got to view this game as for possibly the national championship. They had an opportunity to see Brigham Young play in the Holiday Bowl against Michigan. They struggled in the 4th quarter to beat a team that was 6-5. I think that Washington and Oklahoma deserve attention for the national championship.
I've got to believe that the winner of this game will receive a lot of votes, and I'm sure Coach Switzer and the Oklahoma players and the Washington players are certainly hopeful that the winner of this game can get some votes, maybe be the national champion.
And right now the conversation is over as the Sooners come out. The Washington Huskies to follow, and the 1985 Orange Bowl kickoff will be up in just a moment on NBC Sports.
Give me a light. A Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
And I'll have a light. A Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Chrysler introduces the new technology of driving. Turbo New Yorker. Front-wheel drive, electronics to inform you. Chrysler luxury to comfort you, and turbo power to move you. Turbo New Yorker. Once you drive it, you'll never go back to a V8 again. This is Chrysler's most technologically advanced luxury car, backed by the Chrysler Protection Plan. Turbo New Yorker by Chrysler. The best built, best backed American cars.
The 1985 Orange Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, who invites you to discover the new technology of driving at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. By Bud Light, the less filling light beer with the first name in taste. By Wang, Wang puts people in front of computers. And by Delta Airlines, 36,000 professionals serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there.
Miami, Florida, an exciting place to be on New Year's Day night, as again for the 3rd time in 4 years, the Orange Bowl has a direct bearing on who will reign as national champion. Barry Switzer on the ropes after 3 4-loss seasons, and his Sooners came back for him this year, a new 5-year contract, perhaps a national championship impending. Barry Switzer, an upbeat man, and so is Don James, another coaching veteran. They've never been across the field before, nor have the Washington Huskies and the Oklahoma Sooners. This is their first meeting ever. First time a Washington team has ever come to the Orange Bowl. Oklahoma's here for a 13th time. Tim Lasher, a walk-on sophomore, is ready to kick the ball off for the Sooners, and they're crimson and white. Back deep for the Washington Huskies, number 1, Alonzel Hill, number 23, David Trimble. So the final moments of waiting are over for Coach Switzer, the Sooners for Coach James, and the Huskies, and we're underway. 1-yard line, David Trimble, a wide receiver, breaks it for the moment, then comes out across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And so the Huskies come out on offense. They run primarily from the I formation, a big offensive line. Gogan at right tackle weighs 290. The quarterback is a junior, Dean's List pre-medical student, Paul Cicero. His wide receivers are very schooled and very excellent. Green particularly could be a #1 draft choice in the NFL. Danny Green. Patterson runs the precise routes. They don't go to Roten that much. Cicero at quarterback. Jacques Robinson, the tailback, with 10 touchdowns in his last 4 games this season. Finney blocks at fullback. The Huskies come out 1st and 10 from their 21. Cicero putting it up early, and it's incomplete. The Sooners, the toughest team in America to run the ball on. They give up only 68 yards a game to the opponent's rush. There is the front wall of Oklahoma. Casillas, the middle guard, one of the great players in college football, a 290-pounder, a consensus All-American. Bosworth, a redshirt freshman, but a second-team All-American at linebacker, an excellent player. Secondary somewhat suspect against the pass. So Washington come out throwing, and maybe they will again on 2nd and 10. Kickback. Kenny lost the handle. The Washington fullback. Ryan Hall with the pressure on, and we'll take another look at that, Bob.
Well, the Washington Huskies are a running football team. They like to give it to Jock Robinson up the middle. The Oklahoma Sooners, the #1 team in the country against the rush in college football, primarily because of the strength up the middle. Casillas, Bosworth, oh, those guys are tough. Now, here's the key matchup. Ernestine versus Casillas. Center on nose tackle.
3rd down and 13. Cicero taking the deep drop. Now he gives it off, and on a draw play, tailback Jack Robinson comes straight up the middle, but he's way short of the 1st down. So the Sooners, who won the toss and elected to kick off, as they often do because of their great defense, set the tone early, and they stop the Huskies cold.
Not a bad sign for Washington. One of the big parts of their offense is that sprint draw. They got no yards whatsoever on that possession at all, and the sprint draw is a part of their offense that they must get a lot of yards with.
There is Thane Cleland ready to punt the ball now for Washington, not a long-distance punter. Senior Buster Rhymes from Miami ready to run it back, one of the dangerous return men in the country. Good punt, well hit downfield. Drives Rhymes back. He's to his 29, and here comes Buster. Breaks it, look out. Inside the 40, and finally Buster Rhymes, who's been somewhat of a disappointment his senior season, delivers the big play for Oklahoma the first time the Sooners get the ball. A 49-yard punt, returned 38 yards by Buster Rhymes.
When you play a ball game like this, Don, it's been 4 weeks since either of these teams really drew blood on an opponent. You can see the hitting going on by Oklahoma. The early stages of the game are to establish supremacy mind-wise. After 4 weeks of hitting your own opponent, you want to go out there and hit that different colored helmet and jersey, and so far Oklahoma's done an excellent job.
Right now the Sooners go on their first play from scrimmage. Danny Bradley with a wing set. This is the veer offense. The play fake. Bradley with his own number takes it ahead, but not for much. Looking at the Oklahoma Sooner offense, you ain't got size, you ain't got nothing, they say at Oklahoma, and the offensive line averages 275. Shepard, wide receiver, a fleet one on the flank. Jackson, a great freshman at tight end. Bradley at quarter. Sewell and Tillman, the halfbacks. Lydell Carr, a blocking fullback.
I'll make this comment. There's Ron Holmes, the All-American defensive lineman, has already gone out holding his knee for the Huskies.
Consensus All-American goes down on the first play. Now Bradley pitching back, almost a loose football, but Sewell gets it, and he's out of bounds on a 2nd down and 8 play inside the 30. Pretty well defensed by Washington early in the game. Ron Holmes made every All-America first team. As you pointed out, Trump, right early, he went down with his knee.
Don, this would really hurt. The Huskies lost inside linebacker Krakowski earlier in the week. A great defensive player. Holmes, the best defensive lineman they have. The Huskies wanted to employ a 2-5-4 defense to try to stop the wishbone. Without Holmes in there, I don't think they can play that defense. In fact, they're not right now. They're going with the 34.
Bruce Crone is in to replace him as the Sooners go 3rd and 6. Bradley dropping a good rush, and they're going to get Danny Bradley all the way back at the 48-yard line. A great play by the strong safety, Jim Rogers. They call it the Purple Rain defense. Up front, Holmes was the starter. Out now, Elford and Lewis, a couple of good pass rushers. Linebackers, the strength perhaps of this defense. Meander and Kelly in the middle, excellent players. So small on the right outside. The secondary, Vesti Jackson at the left is the best cornerback, and you saw the work of Jim Rogers at strong safety. Free safety Peoples is also a big league hitter. Now the Sooners thrown back on the passing down, and here's a bad snap from center, and Washington's coming in on the ball, and they get the punter, Mike Winchester. So after the big return of a Washington punt, the Huskies come up with big league defense, and now they take over the ball at the 40-yard line of Oklahoma.
The punter lost 11 yards on that play. The previous play, the quarterback lost 19 yards, minus 30 on the last two plays, and the Huskies have the ball.
So the excitement coming early in the 1985 Orange Bowl.
Delta gets you there. We're Delta Airlines. We love the things we do, and we do them all to please you. Delta Airlines. We'll take you almost anywhere, anytime. We'll get you there. Delta gets you there. Listening, really listening. We want to know what's on your mind. Talk to us, we've got the time. Caring, really caring. We care about the things we do. We want to make it right for you. Delta gets you there.
January's champions take to the ice. Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner, Kitty and Peter Carruthers, the incredible Protopopovs, Tyler Cranston, and U.S. Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton. The World Professional Figure Skating Championships. The gathering begins on NBC Sports World.
Coaches never know how young players are going to respond to pressure. There you see sophomore punter Mike Winchester, a walk-on in his first chance here in the Orange Bowl, failing. That's a good snap. That ball should be caught, spun off easily.
Jim Peoples was in there to get him. So now, Washington's second possession starts on the Sooner 41-yard line. A scoreless Orange Bowl so far. Here comes Jack Robinson on the power pitch. Cuts upfield, and Jack Robinson rips it ahead. He's got 12, and a Washington first down.
Flag down, Don.
Yeah, there is, right at the line of scrimmage, so it could go against the Huskies.
Paul Miliazzo on the tackle.
Looks
and
like
one of
Oklahoma Trump.
Yeah, the gain is going to stand. Watch Casillas here on the center. This is our big matchup offensively for the Huskies, defensively for Oklahoma. And frankly, Ernestine's got to do a better job. Casillas, for a guy who is 290 pounds, has great mobility. It's offsides against Oklahoma, so the gain will stand.
Gain stands. Offside decline. They give him a 13-yard gain now, so the Huskies have the ball down to the 29-yard line of Oklahoma. Oklahoma with its 13th Orange Bowl appearance. Washington here for the first time. 12 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Sekiro on a rollout. Going deep. He's got a man wide open. Danny Green. It's touchdown, Washington. Tony Rayburn Trump doing his best, but Danny Green, a 4.3 sprinter, projected as a possible first-round NFL draft choice. Beats him deep. They've been working on this, as we saw all week in practice.
29 yards on the pass and catch, and that was a busted coverage. Oklahoma had nobody even close. When the motion started by Patterson, it did appear that Oklahoma was a little bit confused. Green standing down there all by himself. Offensive line a good time protecting Sekiro. An easy touchdown, a very easy touchdown.
Now the extra point try. The kick is up and good by Jeff Jager. And with 11:52 to play in the first quarter, the underdog Washington Huskies strike first.
Watch Green. He runs just a little flat pattern, and then he's just lost. Tony Rayburn just didn't go with him. He busted the coverage completely. I mean, the referee had a chance to knock the ball away, but he was the only one. Watch this. Look at the time. He's covered by the tuba player.
Nobody near him, and Green's in the end zone on the payoff, and we'll be back with the Huskies kickoff.
4'9", you know who, and she does everything the big boys do. Double backs that reach the sky. She's even got a move the boys won't try. So pour it on, Mary Lou. Wheaties has the taste for you. Wheaties, Wheaties, that's your style. Now flash, 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 that winning smile.
Watch out, big boys.